Apple has just released iOS 18.1 with the new Apple Intelligence features finally available for those who have an iPhone 15 Pro or later. And so in this video, I'm going to go over all of the Apple Intelligence features that you should try right away as soon as you update your iPhone. So let's start with the new look Siri that includes a glowing light that wraps around the edge of your screen. It animates responsively to the sound of your voice, and you can even type to Siri quickly by just simply double tapping the bottom of the screen. Siri can also understand and follow along even if you stumble on your words. Let me show you. Set an alarm for 6 p.m. No, wait, make it 7 p.m. So there you go. Siri is also more conversational over the course of a session, and you'll be able to respond to something that you say in a recent request or a recent response. So I can ask the weather in my city and then immediately follow up with another question referencing weather, and it'll just be smart enough to know what we're talking about. And lastly, you can ask thousands of questions regarding support for an Apple product, and you'll get the response with a helpful support article to go along with it. Writing tools are available pretty much anywhere that you would type, and it gives users the ability to rewrite, proofread, or summarize text in the app that you're working in. Rewrite will suggest different versions of your text. Proofread will give you suggested improvements and better grammar fixes and language refinements. And Summarize obviously gives you a brief summary of the selected text. Speaking of summarizations, this is scattered throughout the whole operating system basically at this point with Apple Intelligence, and this is perhaps one of my favorite Apple Intelligence features, specifically Summarize notifications. If you have a ton of notifications from any one particular app, you'll see a brief summary of what's happening, whether it be mail or your group chat messages are popping off, or maybe some random apps going crazy with different notifications, and you don't want to go looking through all of those notifications to see what's going on. You'll see a smart summarization of everything that's happening in that group notification. There are also smart reply features in messages and mail applications, and these are helpful if you want to respond in a generic way, like really quickly, but I still think it needs a little bit more work with the automated responses. They just seem a bit boring and only really present options to you if there's a question being asked with a few different options to choose from in that question. You can also tap the Summarize button in the Mail app, and you'll get a summary of any incoming email. And there are other various areas throughout the UI, like I mentioned, where summarization is available, like Safari. In an article, you can get a summary of what you're looking at, or even when you record audio or phone call in the Notes app. And speaking of, that is also a major new feature where you can now record audio, and it'll be directly into the Notes app, or you can record a phone call and immediately get the call or the recording transcribed and stored in the Notes app. Again, a summary of that call or recording is just the cherry on top of a very useful feature. In the Photos app, you have the new cleanup feature where you can remove certain objects or even people from a picture, and Apple Intelligence will do its best to generate a fill for the image and make it look like nothing was ever there in the first place. And it works pretty well for the most part. It's still a bit hit or miss depending on what you're trying to remove and the image, but I find it to be really good with like quick cleanups of small artifacts or even reflections from a window. In the Photos app, you can also search for photos and videos by simply describing what you're looking for, and you can even make a memory movie by describing in the prompt the type of story that you'd like to see created. Now, there are still tons of other Apple Intelligence features that are not out yet and only recently became available in the iOS 18.2 beta for developers, so if you want to see the Image Playground, Genmoji, and ChatGPT integration in action, be sure to click the card here in the upper right corner. But otherwise, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. How do you feel about this first batch of Apple Intelligence features that are finally available and out of beta? Let me know down in those comments. This is Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.